Okay, let's get this going. Other than completely blowing out my eardrums, let's get this going. Oh my gosh, dude. Hold on. Okay, that's not right. Hold on, something isn't right here. Let me go back to this. Let me get... Uh-oh. Oh wait, that's right, I deleted it. Oh crap, okay, hold on. Wait a minute. I messed up my entire system here. Ah, that sucks. I like actually messed up my entire thing. Oh well, that's fine. Um Dagon. It was playing that. Okay, let's put that down to about 10-ish. Yeah, that works. Okay. Right. Is that at least working? No. Of course not. Okay, so it seems I've lost that part, which to me is completely a-okay. What is going on? Oh, that's that. Okay, I'm really unprepared today. Hold on. I'm actually really really unprepared today. I think we're just gonna roll with this until I can fix it. I am planning on getting some new overlay out, so that way I can get that ready to go. Yeah. Well, everybody, welcome to Dagon, a Lovecraftian game. Let me find the, let me find that. Hold on a second. Hold on, wait, whoa. Let me find this real quick. So, because I didn't really have anything else for today, I kind of just gotta do what I gotta do. And I'll be playing this and then Jollibee's 2 later because I have nothing else. Just free games off the game Joel. Right, so the story to the holy crap, this is loud. Hold on. Let me turn this down. Okay, I can hear myself. So this is a Lovecraftian horror, atmospheric horror. Face unspeakable horrors, succumb to madness. Welcome to a free demonic narrative experience inspired by H.P. Lovecraft. This is by Bit Golem. Overwhelmingly positive reviews. I've seen this game before, I just haven't seen it in so long. Yeah. So we're gonna go ahead and get started with this, and I will catch you guys in a bit. I'm joking. I'm not going anywhere. But yeah, I would have like. Let me turn this on. I would have I would have played some other things, but I don't have any money. I'm poor. Very poor. I'm so poor. But I had so many games ready for this month. I mean, the days that I missed that are on me. Like right now, I'm 3 of 6 streamed. This would be my 4th day, actually. Okay, so I've only missed 2 days, so we're fine. I've only missed 2 days. I'm still trying to get the schedule out. Not going well at all. But yeah, I'm gonna get that out. I'm gonna get Jollibee's 1 playthrough out, along with the Lurk in the Dark prologue, Lucid Dreams, and basically the other ones. It was Jollibee's 1, Lurk in the Dark prologue, Lucid Dream. Then it was I didn't play, and then it was Little Nightmares 1. I'm gonna get those out, get those going, and now it's gonna be Dagon. So I'm gonna get those out on YouTube. Gonna post those. Gonna post Jollibee's 1 today, and then just go from there. But how about enough of me chatting? Let's get on with this. Dagon is a faithful interactive adaptation of H.P. Lovecraft's work. Focused on story and atmosphere, you will not find difficult choices, action sequences, or inventory management here, and movement is limited to progressing through locations along with the plot. So, like I said, this is a narrative game. It's not too much. So, I'm going to turn this up. Let me know if it's too loud. And we'll just go from there, really. But okay, let's Get on with
I
this.
am writing this under an appreciable mental strain, since by tonight I shall be no more.
I'm gonna pause this. Okay. Nice. During the game, you will encounter interactive elements. Some of them will allow you to continue your journey. Others will reveal interesting facts about the original short story, its historical background, and the author. Some of these trivia is hidden. In order to find these secrets, focus your eyes and look for the elder sign. So if I... Okay, so right mouse button... Okay. So if I... Okay.
Penniless, and at the end of my supply of the drug which alone makes life endurable, I can bear the torture no longer, and shall cast myself from this garret window into the squalid street below.
Squalid street below. That is gorgeous.
Do not think from my slavery to morphine that I am a weakling or a degenerate. When you have read these hastily scrawled pages, you may guess, though never fully realize, why it is that I must have forgetfulness or death.
So, I've never played one of these games before. This is actually pretty cool to me. Never played one of these games before. This is all brand new to me. So, so far so good. I really like this. I'm gonna write the page, yeah. You know, this is
It
like...
was in one of the most open and least frequented parts of the broad Pacific that the packet of which I was supercargo fell a victim to the German sea raider.
I forgot that this took place in World War II. I forgot about that. That's actually really cool.
The Great War was then at its very beginning.
The Great War,
and the
sorry,
ocean
World War
forces
I.
of the
My
Hun
bad.
had not completely sunk to their later degradation. So that our vessel was made a legitimate prize, whilst we of her crew were treated with all the fairness and consideration due us as naval prisoners.
That's cool.
So liberal, indeed, was the discipline of our captors, that 5 days after we were taken, I managed to escape alone in a small boat with water and provisions for a good length of time.
Oh, wait, no, I'm missing stuff. Crap.
When I finally found myself adrift and free, I had but little idea of my surroundings. Never a competent navigator, I could only guess vaguely by the sun and stars that I was somewhat south of the equator. Of the longitude, I knew nothing, and no island or coastline was in sight.
Honestly, I would have just stayed for a little longer until I saw something. Let me look around first before I miss anything else. I missed a lot of stuff
The
there.
weather kept fair, and for uncounted days I drifted aimlessly beneath the scorching sun, waiting either for some passing ship or to be cast on the shores of some habitable land.
What is that? Getting low on water?
But neither ship nor land appeared, and I began to despair in my solitude upon the heaving vastness of unbroken blue.
Man, it would have been so hot. You're under the equator. It would have been so hot. Dude, like, come on now.
The change happened whilst I slept.
The change. What's with the ominous music?
Its details I shall never know. For my slumber, though troubled and dream-infested, was continuous.
Really? Oh, what the? What in the world?
When at last I awoke, it was to discover myself half sucked into a slimy expanse of hellish black mire, which extended about me in monotonous undulations as far as I could see.
That is gross.
And in which my boat lay grounded some distance away. Though one might well imagine that my first sensation would be of wonder at so prodigious and unexpected a transformation of scenery, I was in reality more horrified than astonished.
I don't blame you, dude. Like, what in the world is this? Wow. What a twist.
For there was in the air, and in the rotting soil, a sinister quality which chilled me to the very core.
That is disgusting. Look at his eye. Look at its skin. Oof. Is this one dead? It's just been staring at me this whole time, or is it just like sunken and it can't move? Is it paralyzed?
The region was putrid with the carcasses of decaying fish and of other, less describable things which I saw protruding from the nasty mud of the unending plain.
Okay, so yeah, so they're all dying.
Perhaps I should not hope to convey in mere words the unutterable hideousness that can dwell in absolute silence and barren immensity. There was nothing within hearing and nothing in sight save a vast reach of black slime. Yet the very completeness of the stillness and the homogeneity of the landscape oppressed me with a nauseating fear.
You can hear the squishiness of it, and that is disgusting. That is so gross. Imagine just like, oh, look at that. What's the word? This anthropod. There you go. Look at it. I actually like these. These are actually really cool. Those legs. Ooh.
The sun was blazing down from a sky which seemed to me
God, that actually hurt
almost
my
black
eyes.
in its cloudless cruelty, as though reflecting the inky marsh beneath my feet.
That actually hurt my eyes. Go that way. Oh, we can't look at anything. Okay. Ooh.
As I crawled into the stranded boat, I realized that only one theory could explain my position.
What is that? What is that? Why is it so mushy like that? Oh my gosh.
Through some unprecedented volcanic upheaval, a portion of the ocean floor must have been thrown to the surface, exposing regions for which innumerable millions of years had lain hidden under unfathomable watery depths.
No, nothing can explain that right there. Nothing can explain that. That is freaky, that is weird, that is amazing, and I love it. The way it's just like, ew.
So great was the extent of the new land which had risen beneath me that I could not detect the faintest noise of the surging ocean, straining my ears as I might. Nor were there any seafowl to prey upon the dead things.
Mm-hmm. What is that? There's a marking over there.
For several hours I sat thinking or brooding in the boat, which lay upon its side and afforded a slight shade as the sun moved across the heavens.
It is nice.
As the day progressed, the ground lost some of its stickiness and seemed likely to dry sufficiently for traveling purposes in a short time.
Nice. I would have grabbed all the food.
That night I slept but little, and the next day I made for myself a pack containing food and water, preparatory to an overland journey in search of the vanished sea and possible rescue. On the third morning, I found the soil dry enough to walk upon with ease. The odor of the fish was maddening, but I was too much concerned with graver things to mind so slight an evil, and set out boldly for an unknown goal.
I wonder if, so I need to start looking for other things, because I keep missing things. I generally keep missing things here.
All day I forged steadily westward, guided by a faraway hummock which rose higher than any other elevation on the rolling desert.
That is not a fish that we know of. That is not a fish that we... Look at them. They're like... What in the world? Can I look at anything here? No. No, okay. Oh man, not the whale. That's sad. That's a saddening sight. But what is that? That's sad. That's very sad. But what is this? What is that? That's my question.
That night, I encamped, and on the following day still travelled toward the hummock, though that object seemed scarcely nearer than when I had first espied it.
Interesting. Look at that. What is that? Why is it so... Why is that so weird? Why is it like that? What is going on here? What is this? Why is it... Okay, here we go. The horrors of the ocean, the creator of the Cthulhu mythos and fictional underwater city of Rayleigh, was convinced that life could not exist at the bottom of the ocean because the water pressure would make it uninhabitable. Uninhabitable. Today we know that the darkest depths of the ocean are home to many peculiar organisms, the deepest dwelling fish we have discovered so far. The Mariana snailfish can live about 8,000 meters, more than 26,000 feet, holy crap, below the ocean surface in never-ending darkness at the hellish crushing pressures, hundreds of times stronger than those found at sea level. That is insane. That is crazy. 26,000 feet with unimaginable pressure. That is hundreds of times stronger than those found at sea level. That is insane. Upon glancing at the modern photos of the deep sea creatures, such as the anglerfish and the fangtooth, or the viperfish, and their truly Lovecraftian characteristics, it's not hard to find some irony in this. That is true. They do have a lot of Lovecraft like forms to themselves, which is really cool, but also really weird. You can read and discover... Okay. Yeah, I know I missed one. I know that for a fact.
By the fourth evening, I attained the base of the mound, which turned out to be much higher than it had appeared from a distance. An intervening valley setting it out in sharper relief from the general surface. Too weary to ascend, I slept in the shadow of the hill.
Nice. Is there anything around here? No.
I know not why my dreams were so wild that night, but ere the waning and fantastically gibbous moon had risen far above the eastern plain, I was awake in a cold perspiration, determined to sleep no more. Such visions as I had experienced were too much for me to endure again, and in the glow of the moon I saw how unwise I had been to travel by day. Without the glare of the parching sun, my journey would have cost me less energy. Indeed, I now felt quite able to perform the ascent which had deterred me at sunset.
Interesting.
Picking up my pack, I started for the crest of the eminence.
Nice, okay. So... nothing here? Okay, let's get going then. Huh.
I have said that the unbroken monotony of the rolling plain was a source of vague horror to me. But I think my horror was greater when I gained the summit of the mound and looked down the other side into an immeasurable pit or canyon, whose black recesses the moon had not yet soared high enough to illumine. I felt myself on the edge of the world,
That would be freaky.
peering over the rim into a fathomless chaos of eternal night. Through my terror ran curious reminiscences of Paradise Lost, and of Satan's hideous climb through the unfashioned realms of darkness. As the moon climbed higher in the sky, I began to see that the slopes of the valley were not quite so perpendicular as I had imagined.
Interesting. I mean, people would find this as a sort of paradise. Like back then, people probably wouldn't, but in today's society, yes, we would find this very nice. Even if there was grotesque monsters at the bottom, or decaying fish, or anything of that matter, we would still find this as a sort of paradise.
Ledges and outcroppings of rock afforded fairly easy footholds for a descent, whilst after a drop of only a few hundred feet, the declivity became very gradual.
So you're just gonna go down there? No, I would wait. I would wait to see the day, to see what I'm dealing with.
Urged on by an impulse which I cannot definitely analyze, I scrambled with difficulty down the rocks and stood on the gentler slope beneath, gazing into the Stygian deeps, where no light had yet penetrated.
Wow. So it is so it's so dark and it's so misty that the light cannot penetrate this yet. That's insane.
All at once, my attention was captured by a vast and singular object on the opposite slope, which rose steeply about 100 yards ahead of me. An object that gleamed whitely in the newly bestowed rays of the ascending moon.
Interesting. So that's to move forward. Is there anything that I'm missing? No, let's go.
That it was merely a gigantic piece of stone, I soon assured myself. But I was conscious of a distinct impression that its contour and position were not altogether the work of nature. A closer scrutiny filled me with sensations I cannot express.
Wow. Yeah, see? Okay. The aliens did it. Yeah, seeing this, yeah, I'm good. I'll pass. The fact that he went down here without, you know, waiting till the day is freaky by itself. Hey, future me, let's, I'm gonna turn... We should probably turn this up, bud. Like, turn up the brightness.
For despite its enormous magnitude, and its position in an abyss which had yawned at the bottom of the sea since the world was young, I perceived beyond a doubt that the strange object was a well-shaped monolith, whose massive bulk had known the workmanship and perhaps the worship of living and thinking creatures. Dazed and frightened, yet not without a certain thrill of the scientist's or archaeologist's delight, I examined my surroundings more closely.
I mean, at least it's getting brighter. Okay.
Now near the zenith, shone weirdly and vividly above the towering steeps that hemmed in the chasm, and revealed the fact that a far-flung body of water flowed at the bottom, winding out of sight in both directions and almost lapping my feet as I stood on the slope. Across the chasm, the wavelets washed the base of the cyclopean monolith, on whose surface I could now trace both inscriptions and crude sculptures.
Look at that. Is that like a mermaid, a skull? Fish, and the ocean. That's cool.
The writing was in a system of hieroglyphics unknown to me and unlike anything I'd ever seen in books, consisting for the most part of conventionalized aquatic symbols such as fishes, eels, octopi, crustaceans, mollusks, whales, and the like.
Wow, that's cool.
Several characters obviously represented marine things which are unknown to the modern world.
There's on the right side right there. That's the That's that poisonous fish. I forgot the name. Ah, I forgot the name. That's it's like black and white and has like zebra lines on it, and it's poisonous. It's very poisonous. That's actually pretty cool. We got, what is that? The giant squid, it looks like. Looks like the giant squid.
But whose decomposing forms I had observed on the ocean-risen plain. It was the pictorial carving, however, that did most to hold me spellbound.
Is it that one, or? Okay. Storytelling methods. Dagon contains many themed storytelling methods that Lovecraft developed in his later work, such as telling the story through carvings at the Mountains of Madness in the Nameless City, journals and character notes, The Shadow Out of Time, the Haunter of the Dark, islands emerging from the ocean, call it the Call of Cthulhu. I remember that. I like this one is my favorite book. Or fictional beings and deities, or deities, sorry, based on real events in mythologies. Jeez, Mio and the Whisper in the Darkness. It's also considered the origins of the popularity Cthulhu mythos. Some of Lovecraft's other stories also conclude in a manner similar to Dagon. But let's skip the details in order not to spoil the ending. Okay, let's get going.
Plainly visible across the intervening water,
That's cool, though,
on account of their enormous size, were an array of bas-reliefs whose subjects would have excited the envy of a doré. I think that these things were supposed to depict men, at least a certain sort of men, though the creatures were shown disporting like fishes in the waters of some marine grotto, or paying homage at some monolithic shrine which appeared to be under the waves as well. Of their faces and forms I dare not speak in detail, for the mere remembrance makes me grow faint. Grotesque beyond the imagination of Poe or Bulwer. They were damnably human in general outline, despite webbed hands and feet, shockingly wide and flabby lips, glassy, bulging eyes, and other features less pleasant to recall. Curiously enough, they seem to have been chiseled badly out of proportion with their scenic background, for one of the creatures was shown in the act of killing a whale, represented as but little larger than himself. I remarked, as I say, their grotesqueness and strange size, but in a moment decided that they were merely the imaginary gods of some primitive fishing or seafaring tribe. Some tribe whose last descendant had perished eras before the first ancestor of the Piltdown or Neanderthal man was born.
Wow.
Awestruck at this unexpected glimpse into a past beyond the conception of the most daring anthropologist, I stood musing whilst the moon cast queer reflections on the silent channel before me. Then, suddenly, I saw it.
What?
With only a slight churn to mark its rise to the surface, the thing slid into view above the dark waters.
Oh, fuck. That scared me.
It darted like a stupendous monster of nightmares to the monolith, about which it flung its gigantic scaly arms, the while it bowed its hideous head and gave vent to certain measured sounds. I think I went mad then. Of my frantic ascent of the slope and cliff, and of my delirious journey back to the stranded boat, I remember little.
Gotta go. Can I look down on it?
I believe I sang a great deal and laughed oddly when I was unable to sing. I have indistinct recollections of a great storm sometime after I reached the boat. At any rate, I know that I heard pearls of thunder and other tones which nature utters only in her wildest moods. When I came out of the shadows, I was in a San Francisco hospital, brought thither by the captain of the American ship which had picked up my boat in mid-ocean. In my delirium, I had said much, but found that my words had been given scant attention. Of any land upheaval in the Pacific, my rescuers knew nothing.
Wait, what? Hold on. Is that the delirious part? Because I mean, he said the German raiding party, so he was in... Well, actually, no, yeah, the Germans were in... Okay, never mind. Yeah, that's
Nor
right.
did I deem it necessary to insist upon a thing which I knew they could not believe.
The journalist. Lovecraft was a prominent figure in the world of amateur journalism. In 1915, he started publishing his own journal called The Conservative, which included political and social commentary, poetry, short stories, and literary criticism written by him and other authors. Howard was a skilled wordsmith, but he also took criticisms to heart, which resulted in his decision to step away from writing poetry and concentrate on the weird fiction again. From the first time since his teenage years, Dagon, published in 1919, is one of the short stories written during that period. His excerpt from The Conservative, the master of horror fiction, explains his attitude toward warfare and the idea of world peace. Why any sane human being can believe in the possibility of universe peace is more than the conservative can fathom. Should the entire civilized world agree simultaneously to disarm, one or more nations would undoubtedly retain secret armaments and at the proper time take advantage of their more altruistic and less astute contemporaries. I can't speak. In a wild career of conquest against unarmed victims, no country ever can be above warfare until the basic impulses of the human animal shall have miraculously changed. Miraculously changed. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry, guys. I cannot speak today. That's not eerie at all. I do have... Okay.
Once I sought out a celebrated ethnologist and amused him with peculiar questions regarding the ancient Philistine legend of Dagon, the fish god.
Dagon. Or Dagon. The main deity of the Philistines, worshipped throughout the Middle East as the ancient god of fertility and crops. In Hebrew, the word Dagon was a common noun for grain. The rulers of Akkad, Mesopotamia, chose him as the patron saint of their war conquest. He also appeared as the judge of the dead in the Assyrian poem and the underworld prison wonder in the one of the Babylonian text. He is often mistakenly taken for a fish god due to the wrong interpretations of his name. As in Hebrew, the word dag means fish. In H.P. Lovecraft's works, Dagon is an underwater deity ruling over the deep ones, the humanoid race with the fish traits that reside in the oceans. He is worshipped by the secret cult called the Esoteric Order of Dagon. That is amazing. That is cool. That is freaking amazing. Is there anything else here? That is actually really cool. Hebrew, Mesopotamia, Assyria.
But soon perceiving that he was hopelessly conventional, I did not press my inquiries.
Wow. August Derleth and the Cthulhu mythos. August Derleth, is it Derleth? I think it's Derleth. Sorry if I butchered that name. Like I said, I cannot speak today. Was the American writer and anthologist. He also befriended Lovecraft and published many of his works through his company, Arkham House. Although he greatly contributed to the popularization of the author's work after his death, he is surrounded by numerous controversies. One of his most questionable decisions involved introducing the good versus evil doctrine. Derleth was a devout Catholic. To the Cthulhu mythos, which contrasted with Lovecraft's view of the world and his approach to cosmic horror. As a result, the author's work are often misunderstood and misrepresented in today's culture. It is also worth noting that Lovecraft was never really interested in creating a mythology, and the term Cthulhu mythos. It was coined by Derleth after the author left the mortal plane. Dang, that's crazy. The marketer. Lovecraft's attempt to find a job in 1925 were influenced by advice he received from friends. Among others, he started freelancing for a market magazine, where he would write announcements and commercials. Feel free to judge his copyright writing skills for yourself. Okay. From an ad to Curtis Woodwork. Curtis Woodwork embraces both the usual structural units and the cleverest contrivances of a built-in or permanent furniture such as bookcases, dresser, buffets, and cupboards. Every model is conceived and created with the purest art, ripest scholarship, and the mellowest craftsmanship which energetic enterprises can command, and made to conform rigidly and the architecture of each particular type of home. The cost of considering the quality is amazingly low, and a trademark on the individual pieces prevents any substitution by careless contractors. Source: Lovecraft Studies, Volume 7, Number 1, H.P. Lovecraft, S.T. Joshi. So that's his ad. Like, actually, that is a beautiful ad, but it's too long in today's world. This is too long in today's world. This is, you need like a line in today. You basically need this in today's world. That's how today's gotten. If you have this, basically all this in one line, you've just sold thousands of products. Oh, there's a thing on that flower, dang it. I think. What's over here? Why are you looking at me like that? What do you want? Why am I over here? Okay. Now we go over here. What the heck?
It is at night, especially when the moon is gibbous and waning, that I see the thing. I tried morphine, but the drug has given only transient surcease and has drawn me into its clutches as a hopeless slave. So now I am to end it all, having written a full account for the information or the contemptuous amusement of my fellow men.
Lovecraft on tobacco and alcohol. Lovecraft hated tobacco, even though he used to smoke when he was 12 in order to look and feel like an adult. In his correspondence with friends Reinhard Kleine, and he claims that he quit as soon as he started wearing long pants. As soon as he also had a very strong opinion about alcohol, as evidenced by his letter to Zelia Brown, dated 13th February 1928. As for the matter of drinking, I have never tasted intoxicating liquor and never intend to. I'm having a strong aesthetic disgust at anything which blunts or coarsens the delicate, natural equipoise of the evolved human intellect and imagination. Drinking excited my personal repugnance, hence I don't drink. Let the herd do what they will. I am rather in favor of prohibition. The prohibition of any one antisocial force as well as any other. Wow. That's crazy.
Often, I ask myself if it could not all have been a pure phantasm. A mere freak of fever as I lay sun-stricken and raving in the open boat after my escape from the German man-of-war. This I ask myself, but ever does there come before me a hideously vivid vision in reply. I cannot think of the deep sea without shuddering at the nameless things that may at this very moment be crawling and floundering on its slimy bed. Worshipping their ancient stone idols and carving their own detestable likenesses on submarine obelisks of water-soaked granite, I dream of a day when they may rise above the billows to drag down into their reeking talons the remnants of puny, war-exhausted mankind. Of a day when the land shall sink and the dark ocean shall ascend amidst universal pandemonium. The end is near.
What is that noise? That is disgusting. That is... Whoa. Hey, hey, hey. Whoa.
I hear a noise at the door, as of some immense slippery body lumbering against it. It shall not find me.
Lad, I think I just did, bud.
God, that hand! The window! The window!
Go, bud. He just jumped out of this. He just jumped out of the window. That's it. He just jumped out of the window. Wow. Okay. So wow. I really don't know what else to say to that. That was pretty cool. That was really cool. I would give a lot of reps to these guys. These guys did an amazing job. I did miss a bunch of stuff.
And scary stories have been accompanying men for centuries. They have many faces and forms. But what is their purpose? Why do we enjoy being afraid so much? During our therapy, I'll try to...
Wow. So, okay, yeah, see, yeah, I missed a bunch of stuff here. So, I can go through it and redo it. But yeah, I missed a bunch of stuff. But I think I'm just gonna call it for that. If y'all want me to go through the entire thing and get everything, do let me know. And that way it can be longer. But I think I'm gonna call it for right now. Thank you so much for watching. No, I'm joking. But So this was Dagon, or Dagon, released in 2024. Nice, very nice. I actually really enjoyed this. I do plan on doing the DLCs too. Just let me know if you are interested in those. I can probably buy like a couple of them. So, but yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead and go through, or I'm gonna change games, go get Jollibees 2 going, and I'll see you guys in a minute. Be right back. Alrighty, everybody, welcome to Jollibee's 2. I gotta do it for the recording, okay? Okay, I gotta do it for the recording. Let me fix my ear. Hello, everybody, my name is Lunine. Welcome to Jollibee's 2. As you might have saw, we got done with Jollibee's 1 pretty easily, so now I'm back with Jollibee's 2. Yes, I did not complete the entire game, but hey, you gotta do what you gotta do. But, yes, welcome to Jollibee's 2. If I can... Uh-oh. The last time I was in this... The last time... Gosh, it's been so long. Wow. The nostalgia is going crazy right now. Absolutely missed this game. Do apologize for the stuffy nose. It's just, I don't know what's going on. I can talk now though. But yes, welcome to Jollibee's 2, a game where you have to survive. Just like every other FNAF game, honestly. Yeah, as we know, we did complete Jollibee's phase 1 and we got crushed. We got crushed as the blue guy, not the purple guy. But, yes. So, here we go. Let's get this game started. Michael.
Hello? How's it going? I'm sorry you had to fill in for my night shifts. You probably heard about the new shipments that just came in today. They came from the, Jollibee's restaurant right across the street. It's a shame they had to close down for some reason. I heard that something was stinging up the place and they had to shut it down because of health code violations. Animatronics had to be shipped for investigation. Now, this is where we come in. Don't worry. I'll guide you along the way. As long as you don't damage the shipments, nobody will get in trouble. This is the warehouse management interface. This is basically the control panel for the entire facility.
Oh, wow.
In this screen, you can buy upgrades or work on extra jobs to increase the warehouse's stat. But you don't have to worry about that for now. Once you're ready, click the button.
So, oh my gosh, it's been so long. Yes, welcome to Jollibee's 2, a game where you have motion detectors, cameras, audio, hacking abilities, rebooting, and a flashlight. I'm gonna die a lot. However, let's go ahead and get into this. For LBM Logistics, so...
Okay, so first things first. Your job as a night shift guard is to make sure that the shipments go to their proper couriers. You can do this by heading over to the left side of the office and opening the workstation panel. The left side of the screen is the conveyor belt module. You turn it on, it's going to bring in boxes that you need to put onto their corresponding tracks. You can switch the track that the boxes will lead to by clicking and dragging the nodes to their tracks.
Turn on the conveyor belt system on, so the... Oh, crap.
Great! You're getting the hang of it. You can turn it off for now, but remember to turn it on after I oriented you. On the right side of the screen is where you'll see the security module. This is where you'll be able to monitor what's going on with the facility. You can use the motion detectors and the cameras to keep track of what's going on, but I'd stick to the motion detectors if I were you. The cameras do have a lot of blind spots around the facility, especially in the conveyor belts. And if any of the systems go offline for any reason, you can use the maintenance panel on the far right side of the office. Okay, I'll leave everything to you now. Just don't mess anything up so no one gets fired, alright?
gosh, I'm gonna... Oh no.
You have 1. You voicemail to listen to your messages. Press 1. Hello, and thank you for accepting our shipments in line with the inspection that will occur in our establishment. This voice memo is offered to you as a reminder on how to guard our animatronic robots while they're waiting to be shipped. The animatronics cannot be turned off for diagnostic reasons. As such, they are programmed to find the nearest room occupied by people for maximum entertainment value. To make sure they don't run into your office and cause trouble, you can use the company-issued audio alert mechanism, which you can find installed in your system's workstation panel under the security tab. If you'd like to take extra precaution, you can control the animatronics momentarily by clicking the hack button
God, I
to view the
remember this.
hacking module. Please keep in mind that the effects of the hacking mechanism are expected to wear off momentarily, as the robot's firewall feature will block you from taking control temporarily. If the animatronics are somehow able to find their way in front of you, you can shine your light into their faces, causing them to do a system restart. If that doesn't work, please make use of any office obstructions like hiding under your desk until they go away. Do not tamper with the animatronic robots, as we will not hesitate on suing your establishment for any damages found on the units. Thank you for your cooperation.
It was in front of me, bro. It was in front of me. You see that? It was in front of me. Forgot that I have to do freaking... I forgot that I had to do that. That sucks. God, this one's always been eerie to me. Is there no one on the first one? I don't think there is. I'm gonna have to figure out how to exactly play this one, because I've always struggled with this one. I remember the last time I played it and I struggled so hard to get past night 1. Or I think it was night 2. Motion detector, go ahead and reboot that. Okay. There's nothing really going on. I'm just gonna play this. Oh, crap. That one was Popo. Popo doesn't like flashlights now? Or lights? They changed Popo. That was not. That was pretty freaky. Saw that. I can hear you. This flashlight reload is gonna get me killed. Okay, so Popo's up here. Okay, yeah. So Popo's up there, we're good. So I'm really gonna have to utilize that a lot. That should be it. Done, right? Okay, yeah, Popo's up there. So I think because Popo's the one. Holy crap, 1,050? Dude, I'll take this job any day. Don't mind if I do. I think since Popo is over there, let's do this one and that one. I think because Popo is pretty easier to get done, I think I'll go ahead and do that one. Let's go and do box transportation. Hear breathing, hold your breath, don't flash your light. Okay. Oh, that's right. Oh, I didn't hear the breathing. Oh, that hurt so bad. Oh my god. Oh, this one was always the freaky one. Oh, I hate that one so much. I hate this. Oh, that one made my heart skip a beat. Oh my gosh. Oh my god. Oh, this one gets me so bad. This one gets me so bad. Oh, look at all the action figures. Nice. I'm gonna do box checking. I can't. Hear breathing. Wait, can I do it back here? Okay, board New Jersey. 51, move by. Give it a second. Okay. Let's see. 299. Ba-ba-ba-ba. Core. Okay, we're good. Get out of here. Dashing. Good, good, good. That was not freaky at all. Okay, good, good. 24:55, 14:14, good. Canada, what's his minute? Spartan, 13. Good. Get out of here. Yeah, yum, get out of here. Reject. We perform something. Good, 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 continue. Oh, we're flying through this. I think this is the one that I did too, back then. This one was the... Oh, god damn it. I can't hear the breathing. I can't hear the breathing at all. Oh my gosh, the jobs are so freaky. Let me try this one. Let me see. If you hear breathing, hold your breath. Don't flash a light. Okay. That scared me. Got you. Five. Three. 8. Yeah. Got you. I like the flashlight sound. I heard that. I turned up my headphones too. Got it. So now let's do one number at a time. 2. Like I said, let's do one number at a time, and then almost did 2 numbers at a time. Ah, fuck you. god, dude. I can't. I low-key can't. There's no way. I don't. Ah. I'm gonna do this one more time. I'm not gonna use the flashlight though. I'm gonna hold my breath. This is the game plan. I'm not gonna use the flashlight. Oh my god. We're okay. We're doing good. Okay, so I think it starts there, and then it starts there, starts here, and then gets to me. So 3's next. Okay, so that's 10. Oh god damn it. I can't hear the breathing. I genuinely cannot hear the breathing. I'm gonna try it one more time. Hold on, I'm gonna do it one more time. Oh my god. Oh, my heart, dude. Look at that, I got 1 on the first try, nice. I'm generally not gonna use my flashlight. Oh, come on now. Come on. Okay. Okay. Alright, let's start the shift. Let's get this done and over with. I don't understand them. Where's Popo at? Okay, already there. Okay, so they're both still there. Okay, we're doing all right. Anything on motion text? Yes, you. Whoa, 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 whoa. Oops. Come on now. Come on. God, this game was always the hard one. This game was always the hard one. Okay, so they both go this way. Okay. Interesting. So they both go this way. Ah, come on now. Someone's here. Okay, so I think this one, the northeast wing, which should be up here. Okay, so someone's here. just in case. Just in case. Okay, we're good. We're almost there, we got this, we're good. Oh crap, I messed up. Oh no 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 no. Reboot that, reboot that, reboot that, reboot that. I messed up. Okay, it did work. Oh god, no, it did not work. Freak. Oh. Okay. We're alright, we're okay. We're still fine. Where's Yum at? Okay, no. Okay, so that's Popo down there. Gonna go ahead and reboot my hacking system. Get Popo back up there. Popo, you go back up there. Yep. Over here, Yum's over there, so Popo, I want you back up there. Okay, so now you're actually right there. Okay, let's reboot that. Let's get Yum back over there. Nice. Oops. Too early. Oh, whoa, whoa. Next up is gonna be Popo. Popo's right there, good. Oh, crap, oops. I'm gonna wait. Who's that? Okay, so that's Yum. Yum, I want you up there. We're doing alright. We're doing okay. I was gonna get Popo up there too. Okay, so Popo's over there. Yum is right here. Okay. So we're actually pretty good then. So far, so good. We're almost done. That's it. Shift completed. That's it. Done. Oh. Get after yours, though. Other than that, it wasn't so bad. This is gonna take me a lot longer than I thought it was going to. Hey, we got 50 more. Nice. Okay. So definitely want to do reboots and motion detectors. And we also have 100 more, so is there something I can get for 100? No. Okay. What is this? I wonder what this is. Hold on. Oh, it's this one. Uh-oh. I am, very disappointed. Start the next shift. Let's start the next shift. Okay, so now we do have a couple other ones. Okay. Figured as much. I want Yum to go back over there. Popo's in the far right corner. Alright, this is where it starts getting really intense. Nah. Okay. Oh, come on. Literally somebody shuffled in. I didn't see her though. That's the thing. This is where I got stuck last time. I couldn't beat night 3. I just don't know what their effects are though. I don't know what their weaknesses are. Let me look. Okay, hold on. So there's one up there. Who is that? Yeah, it's Popo. Okay, there's Twirly. Gotta hide under. There's really nothing I can do. Like, they. Oh my gosh. Yep, there we go. There's Yum. God, freaking. Oh, I can't, bro. I don't understand. Oh, God. Ah. Throw $30. Let's try this one more time. Good. Good. Umbrella Corporation, da 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 da, good. Good, 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 good. Okay, bolt tech, good. And we're doing good. We're doing okay. Good, good, good. Yeah, you don't like that, huh? Come on. Good, go. Oh, come on. Are you serious? How? Are you Golly, dude. Cannot, like... That's my only issue with these games that have breathing in it. You cannot hear the breathing. I can't hear the breathing. And I have my volume up. And I still can't hear the breathing. And that one has to be one of the easier ones too. The driving one is hard, I know that for a fact. The box transportation is kind of hard. Because you have to... The thing about the little mini games is that you have to turn around. You have to. There's no other way. There's really no other way. Ah, man. This is difficult. This is exactly where I got stuck last time too. Oh, okay. The thing about Popo is that Popo can move both ways. Yum can go both ways too. So... It's like I have to do these jobs. I have to. In order to get it all good. Or in order to get more... to get these upgrades. Alright, let's try box transportation one more time. If you hear breathing, hold your breath, don't flash your light. Alright. I'm listening so hard right now. Oh, come on! See, that's what I mean! That's exactly what I mean! There's no breathing. And whenever I do flashed, when there is no breathing, they still attack. This one's difficult, man. This one's hard. Like, the breathing stuff is ridiculous in my opinion. I mean, I get it. I like it. I do like it. I like the challenge. I like struggling. I like the fear factor, but like in the end, whenever you do something and you do exactly what you're told, but yet whenever you do what you're told, you still somehow die, even though that there was no audio cue or there was nothing else. That there is just what gets to me, and I'm, you know, because all of these here, all take breathing in a flashlight. Like, that's just like, in my opinion, I don't like that in my opinion, but I mean, it's still fun. It just gives me a headache. However, I think I'm gonna move to another FNAF game as of right now. It is 9 o'clock, so I will go ahead and move over to that one. Okay, but yeah, like I said, if it just becomes pretty impossible at that point, whenever you can't even, whenever you can't really do anything, there's generally really no point in my opinion, because it's just really, it's impossible, you know? Like, there's no way of actually doing it. Okay, got that. That's good. So I'm gonna save that for that one. I'm gonna save that for next week. I'm gonna go ahead and start Little Nightmares 2 today, and we'll just go from there. We'll finish up Jollibees 2 next week, and pretty much just go from there. I think that would be fun. Here we go. It just... It's just like, I generally have no issues with the breathing or anything like that. It's just whenever you can't, like... It's just whenever you can't do anything. So I'm gonna go ahead and load up a new game here. Empty. Yeah, let's load up a new game. Let's go that route. Here we go. Spooky. Alright, let's do this. Well, hello everybody, welcome to Little Nightmares 2. Welcome to Little Nightmares 2. The sequel to Little Nightmares 1, obviously. I did a sneak peek last time. I'm just gonna go ahead and play this one. I don't really have much else to play. But yeah. There we go. Okay. I was pressing AS, so that's why. But yes, welcome everybody to Little Nightmares 2, a game where you are now playing as somebody else and with no shoes on and a bag over their head. Game that came out a while ago and still looks pretty nice. Oh, look at those grippers. Okay, well that's disgusting. But let's get going. If you have not seen my Little Nightmares 1 video, please be sure to go check out that video. But yeah, welcome. We're almost there. Gotta move this over there. Nice. Grab this. Nope. Go on this side. There you go. That's good. And up. Oh, that's the little sound. I'm gonna change my settings because Jollibee's is freaking loud for some odd reason. There you guys go. And here we go. Yes, for you folks on YouTube, I did just play Jollibee's on Twitch. So please be sure to check that out. Ooh, hello. Uh-oh. Better run, boy. Better run. Better get going. Nice. Okay, now we gotta go... Okay, well that's very ominous. Gotta go up here. Nice, nice, nice. Nice. I remember I mastered this in the last one. Look at that. Look at that speed. Nice. And on to the next one. This game way too easy right now. Right. Something I could grab onto, or... There we go. I figured it out this time. On my sneak peek, I would just jump and I couldn't figure it out, so now I know. Now let's go. Boo! Scared that bird. Oh! That scared me. Oops, I did not see that. Hold to grab objects. I did not see that. Was that not close enough? Okay, whatever. There we go. Nice. So I gotta pay attention for those. Ah, crap. I'm cooked, chat. Oh, man. Alright, and up. Nice. Okay. So the schedule so far, right now, as of the second week of Spooktober Fest, is that it looks like it's going to be, it's been Dagon, there you go. Nope, pick that up. Ooh. No, pick it up. Come on, pick it up. Pick it up. There you go. It's been Dagon, Jollibees, ooh, and now Little Nightmares too. That was spooky. I know for a fact that I'm not gonna finish this game today, so that's fine with me. I got lucky there. I was like, wait a minute. This one too. Ah, I see it. Okay, I see you now. So this is kind of like a warm-up. Can I bring one of these with me? I love these. There you go. Now I can go. Wait, no, my acorn! Oh wait, I have one here. Never mind, I'm good. Oh. Right, so... Not a bad game so far, honestly. It's really not. Definitely a good warm-up. I like that a lot. Like that a lot. Yes, yes. So... Okay. Anything over here? No. Ooh, actually, while we're here... I'm actually curious. Oh, they do! Oh wait, what? Hold on. No way, this is an actual thing? Alright, we're gonna go all the way back real quick. Hold on, folks. Hold on, folks. I would have cried if there was still one there. Oh wait, no I can't. Oh, okay. Alright. Alright, hold on. Restart from checkpoint, yes. Hold on a second. This is actually really cool. Oh. Dang it. Okay, never mind, I can't. Okay. Da, 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 da. Okay, let's keep going then. So there was a glitch. Well, I don't think it's really a glitch. I think it's more of like a little Easter egg. But the place where you jump to that bridge part, there's a little thing where if you basically if you go to the go towards you and to the right, there's supposed to be like a little thing over there. Hello? Okay. Is there something over here? No. Nope, not yet. Let's see. Anything over here? No, it doesn't look like it. Hello? What is that? What is that? It's a hat. It's a hat. Wait, hold on. Wait. Hats. Aww. Do you like my hat? What do I do? What do I do I did? Look at my face. Let me put on the other hat. Oh yeah, here we go. This is that Davy Crockett fit right here. This is that Davy Crockett fit. Yeah. Hello? I wonder if I can, hold on. Oh, come on now. Oh, no, I got on there, hold on. Oops. Hold on. I can't grab onto that. Really? Hold on, bud. Hold on. Let me find something for you. Grab a box. There we go. Yeah! Get that axe. Let's go. Yeah! Here we go. This is more like it. You ready for this? Let's do this. Yeah, bam! Yeah, bam! Don't worry, bud. They're totally not here to kill you. Hello? That's the most Australian accent I've heard. Holy crap. What a jerk. I just saved you. Bro's probably gone mad. Here we go. I'm just going upstairs. Wait, bud, hold on. Dude, I just saved you. What are you doing? No, come back up here. Crap, gotta go. Oh, crap. Oh. That's not disgusting at all. Okay. That is... that is good. Ugh. Oh, gosh. I got you. Dude, I don't know if I should trust you. You literally just bolted on me. Hold on a second. Okay. Dude, I think they're alive. Alright, yeah, it's time to go. Let's go, dude. Hello? Hello? Okay. It's over this way. Need your help. Oh, actually, hold on. There you go. I was like, it's like, are you gonna help me or not? Here we go. Alright, let's see here. Yep, gotcha. And up we go. Okay, what am I looking for? Down here. Oh, he's sick! Dude! Poor little fella. Is that her tongue? I'm gonna try to go. She's just gonna go blah, blah, blah. Give me this, please. Oof. My bad, G. It's not real, dude. Alright, let's go. Wait. Just down. Hold on. Let me look around here real quick. Is there anything I can do in here? No. Okay. Can I climb her? Bro, she has a tongue. Yo, what? Who in the heck type of person would do that? They low-key have a tongue. Bro's over here. Blah, 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 blah. Oh, I was hoping that would like hit him or something. Hit him a dink. There you go. I was about to say, you better do that. Okay, you're actually pretty smart. Wow. Wow, that crashed, actually? Okay. Today's not going to plan at all. Well, at least I got Dagon done. I'll take that. You know what? We're gonna do it again. Hold on. We're gonna play Dagon again. Hold on a second. Oh, Amderilius! I'm so sorry. I did not know that you were here. I'm so sorry. Yo! I'm so sorry. So, I had a different screen on, and I was looking at my OBS, and it disconnected and reconnected, so I never saw your chat. I'm so sorry about that, but welcome in and thank you for the lurks. This has been really weird lately. Okay, let me redo this. Okay, there we go. Okay. Alright. So I'm gonna replay Dagons just to get everything. I wanna get this game 100 completed. So I'm gonna move this over. Okay, never mind. That works. We're gonna play Dagon again. And I'm gonna have to do my little intro as per usual. Oops, not that. Okay. Taking a long time to load. But, okay, so Little Nightmares 2 might be too big. Okay, here we go. Yes. Alright. So, hello everybody, my name is Luna, and welcome to Dagon, a game inspired by Lovecraft. Let me fix this. Hold on. Gotta do my little YouTube intro as per usual. There we go. Yeah. Alright, so I'm gonna pull up the Steam page for this, and I'm gonna read it from that. And I'm gonna redo my intro once again. Oh no. Alright. Hey, whoa. Oh, that was the video. I'm like, whoa, hey. Whoa. Too much now, too much. Alright. Right, let's do this one more time. Hello everybody, my name is Luna, and welcome to Dagon, a beautiful game inspired by Lovecraft, created by the Bit Golem developers. Oops. This is what it says. Face unspeakable horror, succumb to madness. Welcome to a free demonic narrative experience inspired by H.P. Lovecraft. This is a Lovecraftian atmospheric horror game, and it's also a visual novel. So not only is it like, it's not gonna be like paper or anything like that. No, it's, you go in and you basically just it's story written. It's story based. So you don't get as much freedom, but you get enough freedom to enjoy your life. It says, I am writing this under appreciable mental strain, since by tonight I shall be no more. Dagon is a 3D narrative experience in madness based on the cult short story of the same title by the masters of cosmic horror and weird fiction, H.P. Lovecraft himself. It's an interactive portal into the world of controversial genius and his highly acclaimed Cthulhu mythos, open to both newcomers and longtime devotees. So that is Dagon. Beautiful. Now, I was going to do this sort of week a different day, but it did not go well. So far this is how it is looking. It's the schedule for this week is Dagon for today, which is Monday. Tuesday tomorrow. I'm gonna be doing, what's my other game? Hold on. What's the other game? Oh, These Darker Tides, and then after that, Still Wakes the Deep. All of these are, all these are beautiful Lovecraftian games. Love them all to death. But let's go ahead and get started with this. Dagon is a faithful, interactive adaptation of H.P. Lovecraft's work, focused on story and atmosphere. You will not find difficult choices, action sequences, or inventory management here, and movement is limited to progressing through locations along with the plot. This is a visual novel at its finest, at its peak. That is what this just said. Let's do this.
I'm writing this under an appreciable mental strain, since by tonight I shall be no more.
During the game, you will encounter interactive elements. Some of them will allow you to continue your journey. Others reveal interesting facts about the original short story, its historical background, and the author. Some of the trivia is hidden. In order to find these secrets, focus your eyes and look for the Elder Sign. That was beautiful. So basically, okay, so if it's like that, that is basically, that is just to continue the story. However, if it's like this here, we can click on it and it'll pull up like this. Lovecraft's letter. As two letters, my case is peculiar. I write such things exactly as easily and as rapidly as I would utter the same topics in conversation. Indeed, epistolary expression is with me largely, replacing conversation. As my condition of nervous prostration becomes more and more acute, I cannot bear to talk much now, and I am becoming as silent as the spectator himself. My loquacity, croissant, my loquacity extends itself on paper. H.P. Lovecraft to Reinhard Kleiner, December 23rd, 1917. So these are actual stuff. These are actual paperwork, letters, everything from H.P. Lovecraft himself. No, I will not be able to say majority of these. I will struggle, I will have my issues. Like, this word, loquacity, how do you say that? Loquacity? Quack. Quacking, let's do this. Throughout his life, Lovecraft penned around 100,000 letters to his friends and fans, out of which about 10% survive to this day. But his tendency to endless correspondence was relatively late growth. In youth, I scarcely did any letter writing. Thankfully, anybody for a present was so much of an ordeal that I would rather have written a 250-line pastoral or a 20-page treatise on the ring of Saturn. Selected letters, 1929 to 1931, H.P. Lovecraft. Lovecraft would often skip meals to afford postage. Collections of his correspondence have been published in various books, and selected letters can be found online. Some readers can consider them his most important legacy. Wow. That is insane. Okay, me personally, I love history. I cannot go wrong about history. Oh my god, history is like my strong suit, but I think that's it. Is there anything else I can... No. Alright, let's get going.
Penniless, and at the end of my supply of the drug which alone makes life endurable, I can bear the torture no longer, and shall cast myself from this garret window into the squalid street below. Do not think from my slavery to morphine that I am a weak clinker of degenerate. When you have read these hastily scrawled pages, you may guess, though never fully realize, why it is that I must have forgetfulness or death.
Is there something? Oh, nice. Okay, so there's that. Yeah, see, so like something like this. This is basically what it will pop up as. Morphine. Morphine entered into the use in the 19th century and was routinely administered to treat severe pain during the American Civil War in 1861 to 1865. In World War I, 1940 to 1918, it was also sold without restrictions until 1914. Morphine became more popular after the invention of the hypodermic syringe around 1854. Friedrich Sturner, who first isolated the substance, originally named it morphium, after Morpheus, the Greek god associated with dreams. At the time when Dagon was published, Dagon, it's I know it looks like it's Dagon, but it's actually Dagon, which is interesting, was published. Morphine abuse, known as soldier's disease, already posed a big problem in the United States. Wow. So that was kind of like America's opium then, and maybe, I don't know. That's just what it sounded like to me. Okay, let's go ahead.
It was in one of the most open and least frequented parts of the broad Pacific that the packet of which I was supercargo fell a victim to the German sea raider.
What's this? Lovecraft. Oh, I just got a thing. Cosmic horror scholar find half the trivia pieces hidden. Lovecraft in the Great War. Dagon was written around a month after the United States entered World War I. Lovecraft was actively interested in its course. He composed many poems in which he gave encouragement to soldiers and commented on the events unfolding in Europe. He tried to enlist in the army, which he mentions in one of the letters to Reinhard Kleine. Some time ago, impressed by my entire uselessness in the world, I resolved to attempt enlistment despite my own invalid condition. I argued that if I chose a regiment soon to depart for France, my sheer nervous force, which is not inconsiderable, might sustain me till a bullet or a piece of shrapnel could more conclusively or effectively dispose of me. Letters to Reinhard Kleine, H.P. Lovecraft. But even though he passed the physical exam, his mother prevented him from going into the war. She has threatened to go any lengths, legal or otherwise, if I do not reveal all the ills which unfit me for the army. I am Providence, the life and times of H.P. Lovecraft, S.T. Josie. So that's actually crazy. He would have went to the war, but his mom stopped it all? Wow. Wow. And the thing about him saying impressed by his entire uselessness in the world, like being so sick, but yet, and you just get that feeling that you're just so useless to the world. In all honesty, it's not you're not useless. Just get friends, talk to people. Like freaking, even though he had his illnesses, he's still a major inspiration for a lot of us. He's still there. No matter, even while he's dead, I bought the whole collection of his stories. I bought, like, I have a whole collection. I can post it later. But I have a whole collection. And ever since I was young, I've always been a big fan of H.P. Lovecraft. I mean, no, I couldn't really read it because my reading sucked, but I still loved it. I still loved the Cthulhu mythos. I still love all that stuff. But that's crazy. He basically wanted to go to World War I just to get killed. That's basically why he wanted to do it, from what I just read there. He wanted to go and to get rid of his nervous force, which is not inconsiderable. which is not inconsiderable. So his sheer nervous force was affecting him, but it might sustain him until a bullet or a piece of shrapnel could kill him. That's basically what that means. So that's crazy. Wow. Is there anything else? Or is there just one and everything? Looks like it. Okay.
The Great War was then at its very beginning, and the ocean forces of the Hun had not completely sunk to their later degradation, so that our vessel was made a legitimate prize, whilst we of her crew were treated with all the fairness and consideration due us as naval prisoners.
Interesting. So, okay. Let's see here. The Huns were Central Asian nomads who enlisted a dominion in Europe and invaded the Roman Empire in the 5th century AD. They were known as brutal, deadly warriors and masters of quick raids who also developed powerful composite bows, lassos, and early siege weapons. I remember this because I'm a big fan of the Romans. Major fan of the Romans. This is why I love games like this. During World War I, the British used the word Hun as a synonym for Germans in order to emphasize their brutality. However, the term originated when the German Emperor Wilhelm II gave a speech to his troops 27th July 1900 before they embarked to China. Wow. That's crazy. Should you encounter the enemy, he will be defeated. No quarter will be given. Prisoners shall not be taken. Whoever falls into your hand is forfeited. Just as 1,000 years ago, the Huns under their King Attila made a name for themselves, one that even today makes them seem mighty in history and legend. May the name German be affirmed by you in such a way in China that no Chinese will ever again dare to look cross-eyed at a German. Wow, that was crazy. The refusal to take prisoners was clear breach of the laws and customs of the war adopted during the first Hague Convention of 1899. That is, I never knew this. I'm a history freak. I love history, and I never knew this. None of this. That's crazy. I love the aspect that Wilhelm II did his history about the Huns. The Huns were brutal. The Huns were nasty. They destroyed the Romans. The Romans had no answer for them. By the time, because the Huns went to basically, it was the Gauls. The Romans took the Gauls, then they went up to the Germanic people. Well, to the right of that was also the Huns, who also invaded the Germanic people. The Huns could defeat the Germanic people, but the Romans couldn't. The Romans struggled against the Germanic peoples, and then the Romans had to fight against both the Germanics and the Huns at the same time. It's very interesting. Is there anything? No, okay. Let's keep going then.
So liberal, indeed, was the discipline of our captors, that 5 days after we were taken, I managed to escape alone, in a small boat, with water and provisions for a good length of time.
There's nothing here, really? Wow. Yeah, let's get going then.
When I finally found myself adrift and free, I had but little idea of my surroundings. Never a competent navigator, I could only guess vaguely by the sun and stars that I was somewhat south of the equator. Of the longitude, I knew nothing, and no island or coastline was in sight.
Interesting. Yeah, see, there's nothing here too. There are bits and pieces where there's nothing. Yeah, let's get going.
The weather kept fair, and for uncounted days I drifted aimlessly beneath the scorching sun, waiting either for some passing ship or to be cast on the shores of some habitable land.
The return to the short stories. Dagon was written in July 1917 and first published in 1919 in the Vagrant, an amateur magazine focused on the supernatural. The story is the first of his stories that introduced an element from the Cthulhu mythos. Dagon itself, a pagan cult worshipping Dagon, later appears in the Shadow over the Iron's Mouth, one of Lovecraft's most popular works. 1917 is also the year when he wrote The Tomb, a story about Jarvis Dudley, a daydreamer who discovers a mysterious mausoleum in the woods by his house and becomes obsessed with it. These two works marked Lovecraft's return to the short story writing after he burned most of his attempts at the genre 9 years prior, and decided to concentrate on poetry. Lovecraft stated that it was his friend William Paul Cook, a literary publisher and critic, who convinced him to start writing weird fiction again. Wow. Okay. So he burnt most of his... Okay, that's interesting. Get going.
But neither ship nor land appeared, and I began to despair in my solitude upon the heaving vastness of unbroken blue. The change happened whilst I slept. Its details I shall never know.
What's that? Whoa. Ugh.
For my slumber, though troubled and dream-infested, was continuous.
Really? Ooh! What the oh, brother! No! No! That is disgusting! That is genuinely disgusting, dude. Ew, and there's tentacles at the back of the boat, too. Oh, Lord. There's nothing here. There's still nothing here. Dude.
When at last
my
I
God.
awoke, it was to discover myself half sucked into a slimy expanse of hellish black mire, which extended about me in monotonous undulations as far as I could see, and in which my boat lay grounded some distance away. Though one might well imagine that my first sensation would be of wonder at so prodigious and unexpected a transformation of scenery, I was in reality more horrified than astonished.
Wow.
For there was in the air and in the rotting soil a sinister quality which chilled me to the very core. The region was putrid with the carcasses of decaying fish and of other less describable things which I saw protruding from the nasty mud of the unending plain.
That is gross.
Perhaps I should not hope to convey in mere words the unutterable hideousness that can dwell in absolute silence and barren immensity. There was nothing within hearing and nothing in sight save a vast reach of black slime, yet the very completeness of the stillness and the homogeneity of the landscape oppressed me with a nauseating fear.
They're all just like sunken in. That is gross. That's cool. I like that one though.
The sun was blazing down from a sky which seemed to me almost black in its cloudless cruelty, as though reflecting the inky marsh beneath my feet.
Wow. Oh. The origins of Dagon. Dagon seems to be inspired by Fishhead, a short novel by Irvin S. Cobb about unnatural affinities between a hybrid idiot and the strange fish of an isolated lake. supernatural, horror, and literature, H.P. Lovecraft. And Lovecraft's dream about a strange island emerging from the ocean and him crawling in the ooze that covered its surface. I dreamed that whole hideous crawl and can yet feel the ooze sucking me down. In defense of Dagon, H.P. Lovecraft. Lovecraft's interest in the topic stemmed from his aversion to fish and sea smells. In his own words, I have hated fish and feared the sea and everything connected with it since I was 2 years old, but I cannot recall what early experience gave me such a profound and lasting aversion to the sea and seafood. The Dweller in Darkness, Lovecraft, 1927, Donald Wandre. Wow. That's interesting. That is actually interesting. I love this anthropod though. I love this one. This anthropod is so. Oh man, look at the little arms. Look at the little arms. Okay, I'm out. Let's move on. Oh.
As I crawled into the stranded boat, I realized that only one
What is
theory
that?
could explain my position.
What is that, dude? Why is it pulsating like that? That's weird. That is disgusting. I mean, it's cool, but it's gross. I feel like I'm gonna puke. No, I'm trying.
Through some unprecedented volcanic upheaval, a portion of the ocean floor must have been thrown to the surface, exposing regions for which innumerable millions of years had lain hidden under unfathomable watery depths.
But why would it be black though? Why would it be slushy like this? This is low-key a slushy pit with extra nutrients and protein in it.
So great was the extent of the new land which had risen beneath me that I could not detect the faintest noise of the surging ocean, straining my ears as I might. Nor were there any seafowl to prey upon the dead things.
Wow. So there's nothing else here. There's no like scavengers here. It's just dead things. Wow. That's weird. The mystery of volcanic islands. Volcanic eruptions sometimes result in the creation of islands. Most of them are transient and erode after some time, but some prove permanent. The floating porous rock created when the superheated pressure rock is ejected from a volcano can move across long distances and transport barnacles. The floating porous rock created when the superheated pressured rock is ejected from a volcano can move across long distances and transport barnacles and macroalgae that cling to it. In 2001, rafts of pumice created during the eruption of a volcano near Tonga, Polynesia, eventually reached Australia. Wow, that's crazy. That's insane. Sorry about my speech. It's a bit off, and my lip is hating life at the same time. Oh, wow, that's crazy. So like that right there, is that what you're like talking about? Interesting. Move forward.
For several hours I sat thinking or brooding in the boat, which lay upon its side and afforded a slight shade as the sun moved across the heavens. As the day progressed, the ground lost some of its stickiness and seemed likely to dry sufficiently for traveling purposes in a short time.
There's like little Like little sticks in it. That's weird. It is like mud.
That night
It looks
I
like
slept
mud.
but little, and the next day I made for myself a pack containing food and water, preparatory to an overland journey in search of the vanished sea and possible rescue.
Dang. I'm like, so my issue is that I really get sort of tired whenever I'm reading. I don't know why, I just like, whenever I read stuff for a long period of time, I just grow really tired. Alright, let's get going.
On the third morning, I found the soil dry enough to walk upon with ease. The odor of the fish was maddening, but I was too much concerned with graver things to mind so slight an evil, and set out boldly for an unknown goal.
What is this? This does not look like a fish. That over there is a fish. That one right there. This is not a fish. This is a, like, an arm. That's a... that's not a fish. At all. It's nothing, nothing.
All day I forged steadily westward,
What is that?
guided by a faraway hummock which rose higher than any other elevation on the rolling desert.
What is that? That is not a fish. You cannot tell me that that's a fish. What the heck is that? What is this? This looks like a freaking bug off of Starship Troopers. That is a kaiju. This is a face hugger? I don't know. Looks like a face hugger. Weird. There's like really nothing to like. I feel like I'm missing stuff, but I don't know. Okay. Oh, dude, no way. Not the whale. Man. That's very depressing. Yeah, all these are dead by now. Let's see, is there anything else here? No? Okay.
That night, I encamped, and on the following day still travelled toward the hummock, though that object seemed scarcely nearer than when I had first espied it.
What's this? The horrors of the ocean, the creator of Cthulhu mythos and the fictional underwater city of Riley, was convinced that life could not exist at the bottom of the ocean because the water pressure would make it uninhabitable. Today we know that the darkest depths of the ocean are home to many peculiar organisms. The deepest dwelling fish we have discovered so far, the Mariana snailfish, can live about 8,000 meters, more than 26,000 feet below the ocean's surface in never-ending darkness and at hellishly crushing pressures hundreds of times stronger than those found at sea level. Holy crap, dude. Upon glancing at modern photos of deep-sea creatures such as the anglerfish, Upon glancing at the modern photos of deep-sea creatures such as the anglerfish and the fang-tooth or the viperfish, and their truly Lovecraftian characteristics, it's not hard to find some irony in this. It's really not. This has a point. It's not. Like, the blobfish is weird. That looks something out of Lovecraft. But 26,000 feet below sea level, at crushing depths, hundreds of times stronger than those that we deal with, is insane. That is crazy. What is this? What? Hey, whoa. Why is it bigger over there? What is this, dude? What is this? Is this that Viper thing that they were talking about?
By the fourth evening, I attained the base of the mound, which turned out to be much higher than it had appeared from a distance. An intervening valley setting it out in sharper relief from the general surface. Too weary to ascend, I slept in the shadow of the hill.
Imagine sleeping.
I know not why my dreams were so wild that night, but ere the waning and fantastically gibbous moon had risen far above the eastern plain, I was awake in a cold perspiration, determined to sleep no more. Such visions as I had experienced were too much for me to endure again, and in the glow of the moon I saw how unwise I had been to travel by day. Without the glare of the parching sun, my journey would have cost me less energy. Indeed, I now felt quite able to perform the ascent which had deterred me at sunset. Picking up my pack, I started for the crest of the eminence.
Wow. Okay. Oh, there's one right here. The Loner. Contrary to popular opinion, Lovecraft was not an ever-frowning, eccentric, grumpy loner. He considered himself to be a person who appreciated humor. Moreover, he's just like me for real. Moreover, he would often meet with friends in his apartment or at various cafes in Brooklyn and Manhattan. At times, his social life was so intensive his work would suffer for months. There was a point when he finally decided he needed to put an end to daily meetings and loitering in New York cafeterias and resorted to hiding at home and reaching with the main room light turned off. Pretending he wasn't there whenever a friend knocked on his door, he also had another method of deterring his guests, which involved greeting them in a bathrobe, and with an unmade bed visible in the background and piles of papers scattered across the floor. That is absolutely genius and wise. Make it look like you're going insane. That is amazing. 10 out of 10. 11 out of 10. Freaking 11 out of 10 right there. That is amazing. He wasn't a grumpy loner, he just appreciated a sense of humor. Heck yeah, dude, that is me.
I have said that the unbroken monotony of the rolling plain was a source of vague horror to me. But I think my horror was greater when I gained the summit of the mound and looked down the other side into an immeasurable pit or canyon, whose black recesses the moon had not yet soared high enough to illumine. I felt myself on the edge of the world, peering over the rim into
Holy
a fathomless
crap.
chaos of eternal night. Through my terror ran curious reminiscences of Paradise Lost, and of Satan's hideous climb through the unfashioned realms of darkness. As the moon climbed higher in the sky, I began to see that the slopes of the valley were not quite so perpendicular as I had imagined.
See, people would find this as like a relief. People would find this as like something to like chill out on, you know? People would find this as paradise and not a lost paradise, if you know what I
Ledges
mean.
and outcroppings of rock afforded fairly easy footholds for a descent, whilst after a drop of only a few hundred feet, the declivity became very gradual.
There's nothing here. Nope.
Urged on by an impulse which I cannot definitely analyze, I scrambled with difficulty down the rocks and stood on the gentler slope beneath, gazing into the Stygian deeps, where no light had yet penetrated. All at once, my attention was captured by a vast and singular object on the opposite slope, which rose steeply about 100 yards ahead of me. An object that gleamed whitely in the newly bestowed rays of the ascending moon.
That's cool. That's very cool.
That it was merely a gigantic piece of stone, I soon assured myself. But I was conscious of a distinct impression that its contour and position were not altogether the work of nature. A closer scrutiny filled me with sensations I cannot express.
Weirdo. Weirdo.
For despite its enormous magnitude, and its position in an abyss which had yawned at the bottom of the sea since the world was young, I perceived beyond a doubt that the strange object was a well-shaped monolith, whose massive bulk had known the workmanship and perhaps the worship of living and thinking creatures.
Nice.
Dazed and frightened, yet not without a certain thrill of the scientist's or archaeologist's delight, I examined my surroundings more closely.
Man, I keep yawning. Alright. So, bro, you want me to walk towards that? Are you serious? I mean, I'm a daredevil, so why not? Let's do this. Let's do this. Alright, hold on a second. Whoa, whoa.
The zenith shone weirdly and vividly above the towering steeps that hemmed in the chasm.
What in the world? Whoa. What am I looking at?
And revealed the fact that a far-flung body of water flowed at the bottom, winding out of sight in both directions and almost lapping my feet as I stood on the slope. Across the chasm, the wavelets washed the base of the Cyclopean monolith, on whose surface I could now trace both inscriptions and crude sculptures. The writing was in a system of hieroglyphics unknown to me and unlike anything I'd ever seen in books, consisting for the most part of conventionalized aquatic symbols such as fishes, eels, octopi, crustaceans, mollusks, whales, and the like. Several characters obviously represented marine things which are unknown to the modern world.
See, I see this, but that one on the right, that's that poisonous fish. I forgot the name of it. Or I think it's called like the tiger fish or something. I don't remember. But that's what that one looks like. Gee, sharks. Okay. No? Yeah, that one on the right, yeah. There's that, I think that's that tiger. Then there's the octopus. Then, I don't know, is that like a giant squid or something? That left one looks like a coral, I think. I don't remember the name of it. That middle one, I don't know.
But whose decomposing forms I had observed on the ocean-risen plain. It was the pictorial carving, however, that did most to hold me spellbound.
Storytelling methods. Dagon contained many themes and storytelling methods that Lovecraft developed in his later works, such as telling the story through carvings at the Mountains of Madness and the Nameless City, journals and characters' notes, The Shadow Out of Time, The Haunter of the Dark, Islands Emerging from the Ocean, Call of Cthulhu, or fictional beings and deities based on real events and mythologies. Migo and the Whisperer in Darkness. It's also considered the origin of popular Cthulhu mythos. Some of Lovecraft's other stories also conclude in a manner similar to Dagon, but let's skip the details in order not to spoil the ending. Ooh, you don't wanna, ooh.
Plainly visible across the intervening water, on account of their enormous size, were an array of bas-reliefs whose subjects would have excited the envy of a Doré. I think that these things were supposed to depict men, at least a certain sort of men, though the creatures were shown disporting like fishes in the waters of some marine grotto, or paying homage at some monolithic shrine which appeared to be under the waves as well. Of their faces and forms I dare not speak in detail, for the mere remembrance makes me grow faint. Grotesque beyond the imagination of a Poe or a Bulwer. They were damnably human in general outline, despite webbed hands and feet, shockingly wide and flabby lips, glassy, bulging eyes, and other features less pleasant. Curiously enough, they seem to have been chiseled badly out of proportion with their scenic background. For one of the creatures was shown in the act of killing a whale, represented as but little larger than himself.
Wow. That's crazy. Imagine a creature that big, just in our ocean, killing whales just left and right. That's crazy.
I remarked, as I say, their grotesqueness and strange size, but in a moment decided that they were merely the imaginary gods of some primitive fishing or seafaring tribe, some tribe whose last descendant had perished eras before the first ancestor of the Piltdown or Neanderthal man was born.
That's crazy.
Awestruck at this unexpected glimpse into a past beyond the conception of the most daring anthropologist, I stood musing whilst the moon cast queer reflections on the silent channel before me. Then, suddenly, I saw it.
What the no? What? What'd
With
you see?
only a slight churning to mark its rise to the surface, the thing slid into view above the dark waters.
Oh, what in the world? Oh my god, that scared me.
It darted like a stupendous monster of nightmares.
Holy crap, dude.
About which it flung its gigantic scaly arms, the while it bowed its hideous head and gave vent to certain measured sounds.
Wow.
I think I went mad then. Of my frantic ascent of the slope and cliff, and of my delirious journey back to the stranded boat, I remember little. I believe I sang a great deal, and laughed oddly when I was unable to sing. Distinct recollections of a great storm sometime after I reached the boat. At any rate, I know that I heard pearls of thunder and other tones which nature utters only in her wildest moods.
I'm too busy trying to, find stuff.
When I came out of the shadows, I was in a San Francisco hospital. Brought thither by the captain of the American ship which had picked up my boat in mid-ocean. In my delirium, I had said much, but found that my words had been given scant attention. Of any land upheaval in the Pacific, My rescuers knew nothing.
Pacific weren't the oh wait, yeah, no, never mind. The Germans were in the Pacific too. Never mind, my bad.
Nor did I deem it necessary to insist upon a thing which I knew they could not believe.
In defense of Dagon, in 1921, Lovecraft released a series of 3 essays. The defense reopens, the defense remains open, and final words. Later published as a collection title in defense of Dagon, in which he rebuked a series of criticisms directed at his works. Some notable quotes: "I paint what I dream and will let the public settle the rest amongst themselves." Dr. Monday asked the Raisin Dietrich of Dagon, is that Dietrich? I don't know. "I will give it purely and simply to reproduce a mood. Its object is the simplest in all art, portrayal. The physical horrors of war, no matter how extreme and unprecedented, hardly have a bearing on the entirely different realm of supernatural terror. Ghosts are still ghosts, then the mind can get more thrills from unrealities than from realities." In this essays, Lovecraft touches upon the topics of atheism, materialism, the quest for truth, and love of science. Beautiful. That is beautiful. What is this? Lovecraft was a prominent figure in the world of amateur journalism. In 1915, he started publishing his own word journal called The Conservative, which included political and social commentary, poetry, short stories, and literary criticism written by him and other authors. Howard was a skilled wordsmith, but he also took criticisms to heart, which resulted in the decision to step away from writing poetry and concentrate on weird fiction again. For the first time since his teenage years, Dagon, published in 1919, is one of the short stories written during that period. In this example excerpt from The Conservative, the master of horror fiction explains his attitude towards warfare and the idea of world peace. Why any sane human being can believe the possibilities of universal peace is more than the conservatives can fathom. Should the entire civilized world agree simultaneously to disarm, one or more nations could undoubtedly retain secret armaments and at the proper time take advantage of their more altruistic and less astute contemporaries in a wild career of conquest against unarmed victims. No country is or ever can be above warfare until the basic impulses of human animal shall be miraculously changed. Wow. So in 1915, he called out the German Reich. He called out Hitler and the Germans. That's what he just said. Because in 1933, Hitler came to power. Then he started the MFO bills while he built up his army secretly. That's what happened. H.P. Lovecraft just predicted World War II right there. He predicted World War II in 1915 in his own journal called The Conservative. That is insane. That's crazy. I never knew that. I love how it all is coming together. This game is bringing everything together, and it's just amazing. It is beautiful. Alright. Is there anything else here that I should be aware of? You. Lovecraft considered himself an atheist and absolute materialist. which he attributed partly to his early childhood interest in astronomy and science in general. In his own words, "I am indeed an absolute materialist as so far as actual belief goes, with not a shred of credence in any form of supernaturalism. Religion, spiritualism, transcendentalism, metaphysics, or immortality. All I can say is that I think it is damned unlikely that anything like a central cosmic will, a spirit world, or an internal survival of personality exist. They are most preposterous and unjustified. Of all the guesses which can be made about the universe, and I am not enough of a hair splitter to pretend that I don't regard them as errant and negligible. Moonshine. In theory, I am agnostic, but pending the appearance of radical evidence, I must be classed practically and provisionally as an atheist." Wow, that's crazy. Sources against religion, the atheist writings of H.P. Lovecraft. Wow. Interesting. That is very interesting. Anything else? Far? No, let's go.
Once I sought out a celebrated ethnologist and amused him with peculiar questions
Oh, what
regarding
is
the
that?
ancient Philistine legend of Dagon.
Oh, my bad. The fish god. Dagon, see, this is what I mean. Dagon was the main deity of the Philistines, worshipped throughout the Middle East as the ancient god of fertility and crops. In Hebrew, the word Dagon it was a common noun for grain. The rulers of Akkad, Mesopotamia, chose him as the patron saint of their war conquest. He also appeared as the judge of the dead in a Syrian poem, and the underworld prisoner order in one of the Babylonian texts. Crazy. He is often mistakenly taken for a fish god due to the wrong interpretations of his name, as in Hebrew the word dag means fish. In H.P. Lovecraft's work, Dagon is an underwater deity ruling over the deep ones, a humanoid race with fish traits that reside in the oceans. He is worshipped by a secret cult called the Esoteric Order of Dagon. Wow, that's interesting. That's very interesting. I'm looking around real quick. I don't see anything else here.
But soon perceiving that he was hopelessly conventional, I did not press my inquiries.
The Marketeer. Or the Marketer, my bad. Lovecraft's attempts to find a job in 1925 were influenced by advice he received from friends amongst others. He started freelancing for a marketing magazine where he would write announcements and commercials. Feel free to judge his copywriting skills for yourself. From an ad for Curtis Woodwork. Curtis Woodwork embraces both the usual structural units and the cleverest contrivances of built-in or permanent furniture, such as bookcases, dressers, buffets, and cupboards. Every model is conceived and created with the purest art, ripest scholarship, and mellowest craftsmanship which energetic enterprise can command. and made to conform rigidly to the architecture of each particular type of home. The cost, considering the quality, is amazingly low, and a trademark on the individual pieces prevents any substitution by careless contractors. Source: Lovecraft Studies, Volume 7, Number 1, H.P. Lovecraft. That's very interesting. That is very interesting. August Derleth and the Cthulhu Mythos. August Derleth was an American writer and anthologist. He also befriended Lovecraft and published many of his works through his company, Arkham House. Although he greatly contributed to the popularization of the author's work after his death, he's surrounded by numerous controversies. One of the most questionable decisions involved introducing the good versus evil doctrine. Derleth was a devout Catholic. To the Cthulhu mythos, which contrasted with Lovecraft's view of the world and his approach to cosmic horror. As a result, the author's works are often misunderstood and misrepresented in today's culture. It is also worth noting that Lovecraft was never really interested in creating a mythology, and the term Cthulhu mythos was coined by Derleth after the author left the mortal plane. Wow. That there kind of makes me mad, but I'm also grateful. The reason why I say that is because without that happening, without Derleth coming in and making the Cthulhu mythos a mythology, none of this would be happening right now. None of this would. You wouldn't have all these fans, no. And I just wanted to say about the ad earlier, that ad would not survive in today's world. That ad was so good, and it's kind of hard to read, but it's easy to read at the same time. That ad would not make it in today's world at all. No. It's too long. For us, we simplify it and put it into one sentence. That is the difference between 1920s literature and compared to today's. That there is what's wrong. Is there anything else I need? I don't see anything else. There has to be something over here, right? Oh, there is. These days, the word scientist is widely accepted term, but at the time Dagon was published, it was subject to a wide debate. After the author used it in the story, critics pointed out that man of science was more appropriate term to employ. He admitted in the defense of Dagon that if Dagon were to be reprinted, he would indeed use the phrase they suggested. Scientist was coined as an analog to artist, to be used when referring to those studying different branches of science. Yet in the 19th and early 20th century, scientific researchers in great science, resembling the term man of letters, was the only proper choice. Among other things, it was gender specific, indicating that science was an endeavor to be pursued by only one sex. The term scientist became more accepted only after World War II, and the man of science started fading into obscurity as an old-fashioned synonym. Wow, that's crazy. I didn't even know that. That is cool. Wow. Like that there, scientist used to be man of science, but we shortened it down to scientist. I didn't even know that was there. we really gotta like pay attention here.
It is at night, especially when the moon is gibbous and waning, that I see the thing. I tried morphine, but the drug has given only transient surcease and has drawn me into its clutches as a hopeless slave. So now I am to end it all, having written a full account for the information or the contemptuous amusement of my fellow men.
So he basically, so like I said, this was like this morphine, or the soldiers addiction, or the soldiers, what was it? The soldiers' disease was basically the opium stuff, but in America. That's basically what it was. Lovecraft on tobacco and alcohol. Lovecraft hated tobacco, even though he used to smoke when he was 12 in order to look and feel like an adult. In his correspondence with friend Reinhard Kleine, he claims that he quit as soon as he started wearing long pants. He also had a very strong opinion about alcohol, as evidenced by his letter to Zelia Brown. Dated 13th February 1928. As for the matter of drinking, I have never tasted intoxicating liquor and never intend to, having a strong aesthetic disgust at anything which blunts or coarsens the delicate natural equipoise? I don't know. Of the evolved human intellect, my bad. The human intellect and imagination. Drinking excited my personal repugnance. Hence, I don't drink. Let the herd do what they will. I am rather in favor of prohibition, the prohibition of any one antisocial force as well as any other. Wow. So he used to smoke until he wore long pants. He had a very strong opinion against everything else. That's interesting.
Often, I ask myself if it could not all have been a pure phantasm. A mere freak of fever as I lay sun-stricken and raving in the open boat after my escape from the German man-of-war. This I ask myself, but ever does there come before me a hideously vivid vision in reply. I cannot think of the deep sea without shuddering at the nameless things that may at this very moment be crawling and floundering on its slimy bed, worshipping their ancient stone idols and carving their own detestable likenesses on submarine obelisks of water-soaked granite. I dream of a day when they may rise above the billows to drag down into their reeking talons the remnants of puny, war-exhausted mankind. Of a day when the land shall sink and the dark ocean shall ascend amidst universal pandemonium.
Wow. Interesting.
The end is near.
What the heck? Hey, yo.
I hear a noise at the door, as of some immense
crap.
slippery body lumbering against it. It shall not find me.
Bro. What? Oh, heck nah.
God, that hand! The window! The window!
Better go, bro. And he died. Ooh, ow. Wow. Thank you for playing. We hope you enjoyed immersing yourself in our little pool of cosmic horror. We would appreciate if you took a moment to check out the other DLC. So there are 3 other DLCs. If you guys are like this one, I will be willing to check out these. And we're gonna go back. Yeah, but yeah, so there are like 3 other DLCs that I might play. And oh, we got them all except for one, but 2 of them. Where were these? Okay, so I have a thing, right? I can't see red. I'm red-green colorblind. I can barely see red. Especially in this, I could barely see the red in this. So that's probably what they were. These ones were probably red, because I know a couple of them were red. So, but yeah, so I will be going ahead and trying out the other games or DLCs if you guys liked it and would like to see more. However, I think that's gonna be all for today. So thank you so much for watching. If you like what you saw, please do leave a follow, and if you're interested in stuff like this and would like to see more, there is a Discord server in my about section. You can go check that out, and I'll be sure to see you there. Alright, but yeah, that's gonna be all for today. I grew tired from this one. That'll be it, but I hope everyone has a good day. Thank you so much for stopping by, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.